Good afternoon, everyone. This is Christian with PerfectStockAlert.com, a 100% free service for smart investors and traders. All we ask in return, please refer a friend. Today is Tuesday, August 27, 2013. We've got looking at the NASDAQ to start off with, and we'll look at some other U.S. charts as well. The NASDAQ is a chart we've talked about in the past. We talked about when they had this little sell-off going on here. Then we saw some sell signals at these points here and here. I told you at that time that what happens in a lot of cases like that when you have a sell-off after you've already sold off and you get sell signals, what typically happens is you get another bounce after that, and then you get a better entry point like that, a better signal. We'll give you a sell point off the high, which you hadn't seen here or here. Now you are seeing it. So that's exactly what happened. We got confirmation today. You sell that. It makes a lot of sense. This is also a situation, even though we were bullish on what was it, the Tran earlier. We talked about when we were seeing this little bounce here, we were talking about we'd be buyers of the Tran, not the NASDAQ. We didn't like this chart. It's very, very precarious, and we're not trusting it. And this is a good reason to show you why. You've had these several days to the upside here, and then all of a sudden you get one down day, which completely erases any of that time period. So you obviously are not seeing any real strength behind this move to the upside. There's no real buy pressure. If there had been, you wouldn't have erased it that quickly. So that's important to note. Again, this is still really just kind of going flat here. And what I've warned about before, it doesn't matter. It will break and it will test slow. It's a matter of time, not a matter of if. And the reason for that is right here. The ultimate oscillator peaks out of the 90 line. I warn about that. Whenever it happens, that's it. Once you hit that line, any rally that comes thereafter in price, like you had this rally up to this point during this time period, and then any rally that follows is just going to give you a bearish divergence. You get high close between these 2 points is higher, but the momentum is going to be less, and that simply indicates not sustainable, going to fall apart, and that's exactly what happens. The next one tries again, you get the same result. So what do you expect to happen here? It's got to break down, and that's what's happening here. The only way to resolve it is to test that low. So again, we're looking for this to break down, and I expect this to be a good opportunity on the short side because price is above the 50-period moving average, which is where you want to do your shorting, is at or above it, and you've just had a nice sell signal with confirmation. It's a great sell with a tight stop right here. The NASDAQ Russell 2000, the Russell 2000 Small Cap Index is basically the exact same thing as the NASDAQ chart. It's just a little bit more advanced and easier to trade here. Another great short opportunity here. We've already been short this one, the same overall condition. You had this massive rally after taking out the lows. Just because you get a rally and take out previous highs doesn't mean anything. You have to test the low. So you get this move up here, high point, knocks off the 90 line. Anything that happens thereafter will be a bearish divergence. That's exactly what happened. It just tells you it's not sustainable. It's going to fall apart. That's exactly what happens. Then we watch in the same condition we talked about. There was no sell signal at any of these points until we get down here. At that point, what typically happens is you get a counter trend move in the opposite direction, and you get a better entry opportunity with a better sell signal and so forth and so on, and that gives you the opportunity to get short. You expect at that point in time to see lower lows than you've seen here. You're seeing that now and expect it to continue. Basically what happens here is the actual direction of prices change. You were moving up, and then you peaked out, rolled over, and went lower. It takes some time sometimes to roll over, but it's just the same thing. It's just rolling over. You could look at this way, say head and shoulders pattern, very small one. That would be one way to look at it. Another way to look at this is simply say high point, lower high still, low point, lower low, lower still. The actual price activity should come back down here and test the low. Looking now at the SPX, or the S&P 500 Large Cap Index, this is a good gauge of the overall market. You can see the same basic overall thing. We come down here, find support of the 50-period moving average hammer. Kind of like we talked about when it was happened, told you get a bounce out of that. Well, we expected this to break, that support to break down. So we come up, when we pull back, we hit it again. This time, no hammer candlestick formation, showing that it's weakening. Then we bounce up again, and we come back, and we close right below it. At that point, you have trouble. You have multiple reasons to be concerned. You're A, closed below the 50-period moving average, and B, you're taking out lows. So now you have lower series of highs, lower series of lows. It's a downtrend. Then you get this move here, which would seem to, for a lot of people, be, oh, no, wait, it's bullish. It doesn't work that way. You still have to test it. A lot of times you just get a shakeout unless you can come back and test it and find support. Now, if you were to come down here and bounce and find support there, okay, fine. You use it as a buying opportunity. We would. But until we've seen that test hold, we don't know what to do with it just yet. Right now, we see that she's rolled over. All we had was basic scenario that we talked about in the other charts, just flat trading activity. You had to come down and test the low. Now you're seeing that develop. But a couple other things you're starting to see develop. Notice here, you close below the 50-period moving average again. Then you get a sell signal. Now, again, we warned in that time period, you hadn't had a sell signal up here. So when you get them down here, typically result in a bounce that comes. Then it'll give you a better entry opportunity than our sell signal, which you saw here. And notice where it's at. It's at the 50-period moving average. Where is the best place to sell a downtrend in an overall bearish market? At or above the 50-period moving average. So you're getting sell signs at that line. That means there's a lot of smart money out there that are selling at that line, and that's why you're getting that resistance there. There's sell pressure here, and it's driving it now lower. So again, be looking for a test of this low. We'll see what happens at that point in time. Quick glance here at the Wilshire 4500. This is basically the exact same chart as I've just shown you all together. It's a little bit different, but basically the same. Lower series of highs, lower series of lows. Note down here, no hammer, breakthrough. Now, that shows weakness when you have that scenario. You're typically in a bull trend, you'll have a pullback to the 50-period moving average, find a hammer cancel formation off the low, and take off and keep going. Higher series of highs, higher series of lows. That's not what happened. Instead, you close below 50, big bad warning sign, and you come down here, and then you get this big bounce up here, shakes out a bunch of people that are, no, wait, we're bullish again. No, you're not. You got to test the low. And all we do is move sideways for a while. Remember, again, off the 90 line, any advance from that point will simply be a bearish divergence, meaning not trustworthy, not something you want to buy. It's going to break down. What does that mean? It means take out the lows. So all we're seeing now, high point, lower high, low point, lower low. Where are we going next? Lower low. If there's anything about today's video that you did not understand or want to learn more about the technical analysis principles or the stock trading methods, you can go to the free website at perfectstockalert.com. All we ask in return, please refer a friend. Check it out. There's lots of videos there to teach you all the different things that I'm showing you in these nightly market analysis videos. Again, market analysis videos right here. ETFs are here for some of the different indexes, and then again the market charts you can find here. Or you can go to the bottom of the page on the home page. Move on down there, and you will find my global market charts are updated nightly, both the short term and the long term. And again, we have mini sell signals setting up right now. Please take a moment to review our disclaimer. The information provided herein is our opinion only. Under no circumstances do any statements here represent a recommendation to buy or sell securities or make any kind of an investment. You are responsible for your own due diligence. To summarize, we do not provide investment advice, nor do we make any claims or promises that any information here will lead to a profit, loss, or any other result. These videos are for educational purposes only.